We're unbeaten in Europe, top of the league, and looking stronger than ever. So, naturally, Football Manager decided it was time to test us. Welcome back to the Sir Alex Ferguson Aberdeen Challenge here on Super Sammy Plays. Coming off the back of two huge results in Europe against Liverpool and Manchester City, this team is absolutely flying right now and looking completely unbeatable. And with the transfer window approaching, you'd think things could only get better, right? Well, Football Manager had other ideas. We're going to be starting off with a game against Dundee in this one. And 29 minutes in, Diaby gets it down the left, pulls it across, and while we're looking to tap it into an open goal, he gets brought down, giving us a penalty, which Sato steps up and shoots into the bottom corner to score the opening goal and give us a 1-goal lead. But 43 minutes in, Dundee, who managed to pull one back as a song fires past goalkeeper Anderson to level the game up at 1-1. Poor pass from Cormac, intercepted by Diaby, sets us away on a counter-attack as Diaby fires it out to the right with Meite, and he goes all the way through, shooting past the injured McCracken in goal to make it 2-1 and restore our lead. We added a third in the 61st minute as Sato gets free down the right, pulls it back to Jimenez, and his cross is turned in finally by Meite at the far post to give us a 3-1 victory. Next up, we go away to Hibs in the league and looking for back-to-back, and Funk showing all his physical capabilities in this one. He gets free, finding Mitchell Frame, and his cross is headed in at the far post by Meite, who you will have noticed by now, certainly stepping up after we sold Leonardo. And then almost identically to that first goal, Frame gets down the left, crosses in, and Meite this time heading just wide of the post and couldn't turn it in. Hernandez trying to find Meite, and he pulls it back to Mitchell Frame, and then Levo's effort from the edge of the box is saved by the goalkeeper. And then just as Hibs were on the attack, the snipers got Alaru, and we counter-attacked from it with Diaby down the left. I did speed that up a little bit so it didn't take absolutely forever, but Mitchell Frame's cross is then headed over from Meite, and unfortunately we couldn't capitalise on it, but we do go on to win the game 1-0. Frame shining, so him and Funk doing really well down that left-hand side, especially with obviously the injured Doig at the moment. So those pair have been sort of switching between positions. We are retraining Funk to be a left winger. And I thought I'd show you Andres Hernandez, as I don't think we've actually shown him recently since we signed him. Obviously, he's the one that we signed with the model citizen personality, and he looks like he's improving pretty well. And his value is now 11.5 to 16.5 million. I think we've paid 1.6 mil for him, so that's also certainly on the rise and suggesting that he's becoming a decent player and getting a lot more game time this season as well. Also, we've got Levi making positive improvements, and yeah, he feels like an absolute steal. He's got some really nice stats, some already top level stats as well. And yeah, he's started 8 games and come off the bench 5 times, so he's also getting a lot of game time now. But next up, we had a massive test, as after those 2 European games in the last episode, we have Milan coming to Pittodrie in this one. And we nearly scored early on as Meite hits the post. But it is going to be Milan who take the lead, with Randall Kolo Muani just knocking it to the side to open the goal up and firing past the young Anderson in goal to give Milan the 1-0 lead. But it wasn't for long, as in the 11th minute, Fer Lopez turns and hits the shot on the half volley, firing past the goalkeeper to level the game up, and then it was pretty much us doing all the attacking from this point. Meite heads against the crossbar before, in the 30th minute, Sato gets free and fires past the diving Raciopi. I think that's how you say it. That sounded absolutely horrendous, but we do go 2-1 up. Levi then going close, having a shot saved by the goalkeeper. And then another effort here with Mitchell Frame finding Levi, coming back to Diaby, and his effort going over the crossbar. We did finally add a third in the 59th minute with Meite getting another goal. That's all, folks. We nearly added another in the 69th minute as Diaby crossing to the middle and Fer Lopez having his effort saved by the goalkeeper. But Milan do pull one back with Salit right at the end of the game, but we do hold on to win 3-2 and get another massive victory in Europe. And with that victory in Europe, we have secured a playoff spot in the next round already. So that is pretty good. We continue our really good start to the European campaign, and hopefully it continues and we can bypass that early knockout round, as you've seen how that's gone for us the last couple of seasons. Fer Lopez doing bits for us since we've signed him, and we need to be careful here as Bayern Munich are looking at signing Sato, and he's not the only player that's being watched by other teams, as Al Ittihad are chasing our young centre-back Caicedo. He's valued at 21 to 24 million, so it would take a decent bid to take him away from us, and we've actually not had him that long, and we only paid 2.3 million, so if we do end up selling, that could be a really smart piece of business, as we've already got 2 young centre-backs well ready to step in. And Caicedo is going to have another chance to impress Al Ittihad in this one, as we welcome St Johnson to Petodry. But it is going to be Jimenez and Vernblad doing the work for the first goal, putting us 1-0 up in the 34th minute. And then Prenk Balaj finding Siddiqui. He plays it wide to Hernandez, and the first time ball finding Fer Lopez, but unfortunately it is just wide of the post. And this was a pretty poor game for us, I can't lie. And in the 50th minute, St Johnson managed to get back level after the deflected effort from Emilio Lawrence makes it 1-1. And then it was St Johnson going close again as the shot from the edge going just wide of the post. We did look to try and sneak a winner in the 95th minute as Diaby finds Levi, and unfortunately his effort hitting the post and going out. And unfortunately we do drop points with a 1-1 draw. And this is where things start to get real bad, as I say that as Fatih has just come back from injury, but Hajek also resuming full training from a twisted ankle, then picks up a twisted ankle in the same day. He was literally fit for about 5 hours before getting injured again. And to add to that, our goalkeeper, our backup goalkeeper in Chris Anderson, who seemed to be progressing pretty well, having a look at some of these stats, obviously playing because Charles is injured. Well, he has a fractured patella and he's going to be out now for the next 5 to 7 weeks. So we are basically down to bare bones with a goalkeeper. So with both goalkeepers injured, this is who we're going to be playing in goal for the next one. A young 21-year-old who looks absolutely miles off of it. So let's see how he gets on as we bring Livingston to Petodry in this one. But it's going to be us doing the attacking, as Diaby going past everyone in the opening 7 minutes, but shooting just wide of the post. But it is going to take us another 30 minutes after that first chance to actually open the scoring in this one, as the ball finds its way to Jimenez out on the right. He goes past his man, shoots low and hard, and the keeper probably should have done better there, but he does beat him and give us a 1-goal lead. Sato then goes looking for a second as he pulls it back to Jimenez, and the cross cleared only as far as Alexandra, and his effort is saved by the goalkeeper. But then Sato does make the second one happen as he's crossed to the far post. He's tapped in by another injury as Mate got a knock there, but he taps it in to give us a 2-goal lead. Hernandez then goes looking for a third, but Stone makes the save, and you can see Fatih going down there with an injury after he's just come back from injury. And yeah, we do go on to win the game 2-0, but after I just mentioned, Fatih has got injured, but also Sato has, as he's going to be out for 3 to 5 weeks. And then Fatih, who has just come back from injury, is going to be out now for 5 to 6 weeks with a moderate thigh strain. So I don't think this guy has actually made a full 90 minutes for us so far. And this is something I probably should have looked at before signing in, with his injury susceptibility very high. You can see he has a lot of major issues here. We do also have a potential issue with Martin Vernblad. He's obviously not happy with his game time now that we're playing a single striker formation. And Mate, obviously, he'd kicked off about his game time, so that's why he's playing so much. And the fact that he's actually scoring a lot of goals. And to follow that, Morgan Gibbs-White also not happy. I did mention previously we hadn't been playing him too much after Fer Lopez had come in and done so well. But we'll obviously have to give him some more game time to try and satisfy him. And then along with Caicedo and Sato, Vernblad and Jimenez are both wanted as well. So we could end up having a pretty busy transfer window trying to fend off offers for those players. But before we get to that, Theo Simpson is going to be playing in goal again as we go away to Motherwell in this one. And hopefully we can get another Clean sheet for the youngster in goal. Fer Lopez puts us 1-0 up inside 8 minutes. And then we added a second in the 18th as Morgan Gibbs-White playing in this one. Gets down the right. Goes all the way onto his left foot and shoots past the goalkeeper to make it 2-0. We added a third in the 27th as Jimenez impressing his suitors, pulling it back for Gibbs-White, and then it finds Martin Bernblad somehow from the Carlix Alexandra shot to put us 3-0 up. And then Pedro Silva, our centre-back, breaking this on this one as he finds Martin Bernblad. He scores his second goal of the game to make it 4-0. We wrapped up the scoring in the 92nd minute as the shot from Ralston goes all the way through, beating the goalkeeper to give us a 5-0 victory. And we might have just found our answer to our goalkeeping issues. As you might remember, we actually sold Vitek to Al Nassr for 5 million. Well, he's actually been released on a free now. So he's somebody that we will look at bringing back to the club, as he wasn't actually somebody I wanted to sell. We had a release clause and that's how he ended up leaving. Somebody else who I've actually also looked at signing previously, but they wanted too much money was Allison. And if you're new to the channel, he is somebody that we played very early on, and he scored 4 goals against us for Shakhtar Donetsk. So he's certainly been one that we've kept an eye on ever since. And I wasn't willing to pay the 25 million that PSG wanted. So if he's leaving in the summer on a free, he's certainly somebody that we will be keeping an eye on and potentially bringing in. But back to the league games. Celtic, our biggest game of the season domestically, coming to Pittodrie. And Morgan Gibbs-White nearly got us off to a great start in this one, but the save from the goalkeeper keeps Celtic level. But then Siddiqui shooting from the edge of the box in the 8th minute to open the scoring and give us the 1-goal lead. And he's certainly been piping up with the odd goal here or there and filling a little bit of a void that was left from that Nico Gonzalez sale. Celtic do have a couple of chances in this one, and it probably should have done better there as they hit the crossbar. But then it is our turn for the attack as Alexandra shooting from range, hitting the crossbar, and that was nearly an absolute worldie of a goal. Funk then finds Morgan Gibbs-White, who lays it back to Siddiqui for another long-range effort, but this one going just over the crossbar. Celtic do manage to level the game up in the 95th minute after all those chances missed. Yuri Alberto fires past the youngster Theo Simpson, and we do draw the game 1-1. A bit more bad news in this one as Ralston is now 1 appearance away from making 10 league appearances, which will trigger a clause in his contract extending it for another year. And then right on cue, he went and got injured straight after that, and he is now going to be out for the next 5 to 6 weeks. So pretty unfortunate for him. He's obviously only our backup right back, but he's certainly done okay when required. So, in true Football Manager fashion, we were absolutely flying. So, the game decided to injure half of our squad and try and make things as difficult as possible for us. I genuinely don't think Ansu Fati has even completed 90 minutes since we signed him. But with the January transfer window opening in the next episode, we have a chance to bring in some reinforcements, fix our goalkeeping issue, and continue this incredible start to the season. Because despite all of the injuries, we are still top of the league, we are still flying in Europe, and this Aberdeen team keeps finding a way. But that is going to do it for today's episode, and if you've enjoyed it, do me a favour, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.